How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Is that
Enjoying the DKE con.
is that facial hair I see?
Yeah, I grew my beard back.
Wow, back. Have I ever known you with a beard? How long have I known you?
Brr.
Back.
I go up and back and forth and beard and up and not in beard. So
Really? In the past
yeah.
15 years?
Oh, many times. I've
Really?
had this beard I probably 50% of the time I have a beard.
Really?
And then I shave it off because I look younger without the beard. Although that's all going to pot.
Maybe it's that it's just all gray now.
It is all gray now.
Maybe you're just getting fucking old.
I'm going bald too, right here.
Oh, shit.
Little tiny bald spot.
Oh, man. What's this going to be like, 10, 20 years from now? We're all going to be like bald and just sitting here and be like, remember the toys that we used to sell?
I'll probably be dead.
Oh, dude.
Okay.
So you and I talk like this a lot, right? For people who don't know, there's actually 3 hours of us talking on your podcast that was like, hey, Dove, you want to record a show? It's like, okay. And then like 3 hours later.
And we could have kept going. Yes.
Well, that's what we've been threatening. We've been threatening to do a podcast, you and I. Full time. I did get an email from some company. I don't know. I'll send it to you. They said, our talent scout said that you are a good candidate, for our network of podcasts. And
yes. Thank you, Dove, for forwarding this information that I would have loved to have.
They sent it to me last week. I'm telling you about it now. Shut up.
Oh, you got something important going on? No. Well, I've got all these figures I gotta sell.
So I don't know. I went to the website and I looked at all the stuff they had on there, and I didn't hear most of it was like motivational speakers and
yes. We can do that.
No, we don't want to do it. We still want to do collecting and stuff. So what's the name of our podcast?
Well, I came up with some funny names and then you were like, no.
What were those funny names?
I don't know. That's the other thing. When you get old like me, you like come up with stuff and then you forget it instantly. It's like you walk from one room to the other room and it's like gone.
It was like something with Dan and Dove.
Sure.
It was like tea time with Dan and Dove.
It's not tea time. Was it monkey tea time?
Monkey
we talk about all the monkey news.
Let's talk about why you're actually here.
Is this why I'm here? No. Yes, my action figure bootlegs. Last time when you did this, I sat here and watched lots of it. And I was like, they keep saying bootleg. And I wanted to do something, and I liked the Pimentel, his things, where he did all those drawings that one time. And I was like, those are so cool. And so I was like, I want to do something where I do a bunch of little drawings that I could do on this thing. So then you'd have to interview me, and then I could get on here and give you shit. So I spent hours and hours and hours doing these stupid things that probably everyone will laugh at but not buy. Because that's like the classic Dan Goodsell. I was like, I will do all this work that everyone will find amusing and then walk past. That's my decon experience. That is my decon experience. Sitting there watching while Paul Kaiju has 1 million people line up to pull out knives and stick knives in each other just to like get a piece of vinyl plastic.
Wow.
So my point was, I have a hard time connecting with your typical audience, but I thought this might be a funny way to try to make that connection. Yeah.
I see.
So the joke was, they'd be just
wait. Sorry. I wasn't sure what the joke was. Could you explain it?
Okay. The joke was I would take just legs and I'd do Star Wars. Well, actually, what I wanted to do was I wanted to get a bunch of Darth Vader heads.
Hmm.
And I wanted to then glue them onto like something really stupid and then make that my figure. And then I'd put paint on those, maybe splatter them like I was artistic or something. And then make like a really stupid card. And then it would be like world's worst Darth. I think I had a joke, which I've forgotten because I went from one room to another room. So the joke is gone. And so they'd be really stupid. And then I was like, yes, I'll be able to get Darth Vader heads. And so I went looking for Darth Vader heads. And of course, like, you can't just buy Darth Vader heads. It's like you go on eBay and you like want to get a Darth Vader action figure and it's like $54 for like a loose figure. You're just like, how is this $54? They made 1 million of these.
But all of this stems from a lack of communication on your part.
Oh, really?
Really?
I went on eBay.
Because like you have the resource like at your fingertips, like one text away, yet you're constantly
That's one text away. That's not eBay.
Like
eBay is one click away.
Yeah, you're constantly trying to like reinvent the wheel. Like we sell blisters and have 10 sizes.
Yeah, but so does Empire Blisters.
Sure, and I have nothing against. I refer people to Empire Blisters all the time.
He's great. I love
Empire
him.
Blisters is great.
He said something nice about my stuff on the Instagram, so like, I gotta like do like 30 seconds on Empire Blisters. The best place for getting blisters.
The second best place, but we like Todd a lot.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He kind of has a different goal though.
What's his goal?
He's actively trying to replicate every Kenner blister for Star Wars.
That's a life goal.
Yeah, and so he's got crazy kind of sizes, but like he's doing the IG-88 this big and the Power Droid, and he's got all of those. Where the stuff that we make are more generic 3 3/4. None of ours have the little the little foot at the bottom that most major manufacturers have.
You're killing the audience. You're killing the audience.
I'm killing him. Who has a? Yeah, Nekosatsu. She gets her blisters from him, and you can see they have the little foot.
Oh yeah, no, I got some. I was using some of those ones with the little foot initially, and then I found those accessory ones, and those ones are great. Those ones are perfect.
And those were.
Yeah, so with the legs, at first I was going to do Star Wars legs after I had the Darth Vader head idea. And then I looked at, and nobody sells parts. But what I found very quickly was the G.I. Joe, they sell the parts. They especially sell the legs. And this one guy on God, I didn't write down what his name was. I could promote him. He just has like a nearly endless amount of legs, and it's like $1.50 a pair.
Sure.
I was like, there we go.
That's mainly because of the construction of G.I. Joe figures, which have held together by a rubber band inside the pelvis. Yeah. And then once those break, they all get lost. And so there's a need to like go buy legs, whereas a Darth Vader leg would never fall off. Like I've gotten collections for the past, 30 years. And, I've never seen a Darth Vader without a leg or a hand.
Yeah,
doesn't happen.
So there you go.
But my point is that you have a resource at your fingertips that you routinely ignore. So if you wanted a Darth Vader head, the way you get a Darth Vader head is you get someone to cast it for you in resin, and and then it costs you like $2.
$2? Somebody would do that for $2?
If you talk to the person who knows. That we're talking about me. Do we just freeze?
Okay, I'll talk to you about it, Dov, next time I have an idea.
All right. So then the way this project came about, how did it come about? Like you?
Well, I came up with the idea.
And then
so I sat in my drafting table, because I have a drafting table. And I was like, I went online, because they have pictures online where you can look at things. And I looked at G.I. Joe figures, and I was like, oh, so like I did this little mock-up right here.
Look at that.
And I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I thought about it some more and I was like, Jesus Christ, I do not want to do all this lettering because that would be a lot of work. And I'm not like Reyes who can like sit there and do 1,000 drawings and, you know, coat the world. Likes to do words. I hate drawing words, you know, unless I'm drawing them in my style of words, you know, like if I'm just drawing like, you know, like Dan Goodsell words, I'm good. But if I have to like do like real words that look like something that someone will understand, I'm like, no, I'm not doing those words. So then I made, so I was like, I think I ordered the legs and then I did this one. And see, I was using the little thing with the little thing, your little nipplage.
A foot.
Nipplage. And see, look at this. I did like I wrote on the back, just like I did on those. Well, I didn't. I wrote some on the back of those. They're signed on the back, but they're also signed on the box. And then I had it glued on there, and then I think I tore it off just to see how strong it would be with the super glue. And then, because I used to use super glue. And then if you look at this one I did, ooh, I didn't paint on the back of this one. And then of course you do the super glue and then the super glue evaporates. And then if there's any scratches in the bubble, it gets in those scratches and makes it look disgusting. Mm. So then I was
so you never thought to call the person that you know who has done all of these things before? Mm. Okay, keep going.
I like to see. I don't want to bother you, Dov. You're like very busy getting ready for these shows and stuff, and you like have kids, and you know you have Minecraft to work on with your kids. So I was like, I don't want to bother Samuel's dad. My problems. So I just, you know, I like to work out my project first, and then I was gonna do it with grommets. I was gonna attach them with grommets, and I ordered the grommet not grommets, eyelets. Eyelets. Okay. So I was gonna do it with eyelets. So I ordered the eyelet machine, and I was like, those work, but they sent me not the right color. Then I bought eyelets again, and they sent me the ones that were too big, and then I ordered them again, and they sent me the ones that were too small, and then I ordered them a third time, and they sent me ones that were just right. But then I didn't like how those looked, so I didn't do that. So then you tried to glue them, and then the ink ran like usual, so then you stapled them. You did all this. You did a lot of work. But
it took me 10 minutes to staple them all after Ian tried the glue.
You wanted me to have them really big cards so that everyone would have the exact same.
Well, what I told
no, I want them on these small cards because they're nice. Because I want the scale to be cool, you know, really cool scale. And then my wife was like, "Why don't you listen to Dov? Because Dov knows everything." And I was like, "Screw Dov."
Yeah, that's funny because your wife always tells you that about Dov.
Yeah, it's true. She always does.
She always says you should listen to Dov. And then do you listen to Dov? No, you just give me this whole you just give me this whole like Goldilocks story about like your rivets or eyelets that this one's too big and this one's too small. And then I got one that's just right. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, we'd be good motivational speakers. We'd rock it. I had my big light on, so I'm sweating.
Oh, I see. Sorry. So for people who don't know who you are, who are, you know, just tuning in.
I'm the thorn in Dov's butt.
Could
not in his side, in his butt. I'm like that tack that someone has put on a chair and Dov has sat on it. And he's like, what is that?
Would you be quiet, please? I feel like I'm Joe Biden and this is like Donald Trump at a debate. And he was like,
stop talking.
He's like, would you just shut up, man? No, I'm kidding because I do love you and I do love talking to you.
This is COVID times. So like, man, when we're actually interacting with other, you know, it's like my wife, she's just like, will he shut up?
Okay, so can you give us the 30-second or minute version about, give us your name, who you are, where we can follow you, what you do, because there's some people who are tuning in, watching this, and they're like, who's this dude complaining about his GI Joe legs.
Um, my name is Dan Goodsell. Don't go to my website, mrtoast.com, M-I-S-T-E-R toast.com, because I haven't updated it in many, many years. I'm terrible about things, and Dove will attest to this. I'll work very, very hard on something, and then I'll abandon it to like lay fallow for the rest of existence. So the best place to follow me is on Instagram, and I'm what am I? I'm
Shaky Bacon.
Shaky Bacon, and it's SHAKEY Bacon. It's not just shaky. No, wait, no, it's SHAKY Bacon. Shakey's with the E that's the pizza place. Mine is the shaky, like he's shaky, not like the pizza thing. So
so hold on. So all of this whole
idea was to get on.
Whole
I did this project just so I could get some airtime. Yes, because I'm starved. I'm like desperate. Pay attention to me. I'm like Donald Trump. In that way, I am like Donald Trump. It's like, okay, I'm screaming, pay attention to me. I'm so funny.
But then by the time,
I like laughs, I like getting laughs. And so every time Janky laughs, I'm just going to be a bigger asshole.
Oh, geez. All right. I have to pull up my text here, because by the time you ask me.
What did I ask you?
I don't know. If you
I also had those cool boxes that I bought. Like those boxes I bought like a year ago. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to use these for a project. And then I didn't have a project for them.
But before the boxes,
sure,
it was the way. So you had this master plan to get on this show.
Yeah.
And you were going to come up with this idea.
Yeah.
I'm just scrolling back here.
Because that's the way I've always done it. It's like when I made the Mr. Toast card game, it was like, here, this is my way into Hasbro. I saw the contest. I made up the game sitting on my floor, and boom, I won. And boom, I was in the Hasbro, and then Hasbro has not returned my calls since then.
Uh-huh. Okay, so then on August 6th,
yeah,
I text you a question about these vintage Fleer crazy bubble packs that I was going to buy on eBay.
Yeah, I don't have any of those.
Okay, well, I got it on eBay. That's not the point.
Ugh.
So I texted you.
Collectors.
And then you tell me to talk to Russ, which I did.
Oh, yeah, Russ.
Okay, and then
Russell.
This is are you on drugs?
No. Yes, I'm on dexamethadone. I'm on, so my wife was talking about she's had health issues at times in her life, and so she has been on steroids all the time. And she's like, back in her youth when she had to be on steroids, she'd be like, I would rearrange all the furniture in my apartment. She'd be like, moving the couches. So that shit's real, man.
Wow. Okay, so just to point out, I asked you a question on August 6th about,
and I answered it dutifully.
Right. And then after you answer the question, then you said, working on a silly project.
Oh, you see, there's this, and that's, so those are the pictures of things I just showed you.
Yes.
Look at that. Oof.
Amazing.
These ones are available.
So you start working on a silly project in August.
Yes. And now what month is it now? I finished it.
But you don't tell me about it until I ask you a question.
Well, I had to get it right. I had made decisions. Because, see, I get you on the phone and you're all like, oh, you don't have to do the lettering. We'll make a sticker. And you just like,
I'm
come
giving
up with
you
all
options.
these solutions. And they're like Dove solutions. They're not Dan Goodsell messed up, worthless solutions. Solutions that are built for failure. And of course, I was ready to quit this whole project a number of times. And you had to like get on the phone and massage my ego and say, Dan,
you can do this. So then you do all this work. And then when it's time to get photos, because I send you an email with all the all the info that you need, the dates and everything.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here struggling with blisters and glue. And then you're like, oh, I lost interest. I'm not doing that anymore. I was like, the fuck, dude? What do you mean? It's like I booked you and you're
Penciled
like,
you in. I know, and that guilt trip worked really well.
and then you
I'm a
got to
big
work.
quitter. I'm a quitter. I know, and I complained to you. I was like, oh, I'd have to do like 1 or 2 a day, and you're just like, and then I was doing like 3 a day and not like working on them. It was really easy to do like 3 a day.
3 a day. Like when you do, what size is this? Is this 5x7?
They're a little smaller. They're 4.5 by 6.5.
4.5 by 6. Okay, I knew they were bigger.
I
than
like
4
that.
by 6.
I like that general.
Okay, but when you do an art show,
Yes.
like when you did that show at Gallery 1988, you
Yes.
painted 500 or 300.
No.
Like how many paintings did you do?
750.
7. Okay, fuck you. Don't say like no. Like
I know you. I was like you were downplaying it. I mean, it's pretty rude.
You did 750 paintings, and I asked you how many you would do in a day. How many would you do in a day?
Well, what I would do when I'm doing my paintings,
just answer my question. How many did you do in a day? I
do these paintings. They're 5x7. They come framed. They're $25 on Etsy. Search the name Dan Goodsell or Mr. Toast Store.
Jesus.
And so what I'll do, I mean, I'm not as prolific as I once was because,
Because what?
I'm not, I'm working on like longer form things. I want to be like a writer now. So I write scripts.
Oh yeah, do you really?
I've written a movie. I've written 3 sitcoms, and I've written another show that I'm working on right now. Where I've written 2 episodes.
Are you yanking my chain, or is this for real?
That's all for real.
And of course,
so I'm like, I'm going to become a writer because I have all these great writing skills. Because writing like deep shit like this, writing jokes. That's what Hollywood needs, because Hollywood's so stupid and not funny. And then COVID hits, and I'm like, what the fuck? But my real plan is I have friends who are good writers, and so I like someday one of them will strike it rich, and then they'll come back to Dan Goodsell and they'll say, Dan Goodsell, write me some jokes, and I'll write them some jokes. That's my new life plan. So on Etsy, so I would do like 750 of these. And so what I'll do is I'll sit there and I'll pencil 20 of these in a day. I'll come up with 20 ideas in a day. And then I'll just keep doing more and more and more and more. And then I have like these gigantic inking sessions where I like ink them all. And then I'll have there'll be like this time, like when the show's coming up, and I'll do the coloring push, where you just sit there and you have a stack of drawings this high, and you just like, you go like, okay, all of these new ones need green. And so I'll just do green.
Wow.
Green. And then when you're doing Mr. Toast, the thing about Mr. Toast is, see Mr. Toast, he's like burnt ochre. With Mr. Toast, you have to lay it on there, and you have to get it really good, because it's not, some of these are ink and some are watercolors. You got to get it just right. And then when it's just right and it's nicely, he's not too patchy. It's got to be a little variance. Then I pick it up, each one, and I have to run it over to the stove. I turn on the stove, and then I dry it over the stove. Then I do the next one. So the Mr. Toast, I always do the Mr. Toast part first.
It's funny you talk about that texture, because as you said that, I was thinking about the Mr. Toast, like the.
Are you interviewing me, or are we talking about you?
I was talking about Mr. Toast, so I think that's about you. Okay. But I end up talking about me half of these interviews anyway. So, sorry. Oh no, the puppets.
We're gonna do the Manny part of the segment of the show. Hey Dove, what the hell are you doing? Why do you only laugh when you're talking to a puppet?
Oh,
that was like my favorite part.
That was pretty good.
Okay, Mr. Toast, the color of Mr. Toast.
But when you do a vector graphic of Mr. Toast, it's not as effective as the watercolor.
Oh, you mean when I do like
like a box art or something like that?
What you're saying.
You know, when you have that watercolor texture to Mr. Toast is really when he shines. And now you've explained how difficult it is to get that texture where it's not perfect, but it can't be too splotchy. And so, are you having a stroke? You have to put two hands in the air, smile, and say a complete sentence.
What? See, comedy's all timing. Did you know that? Comedy's timing and being funny. I almost did a spit take. That would have been bad.
Right onto your computer. Like,
I spilled water on my little desk here and got everything wet the other day.
I enjoy all the chat. It's been online since 10 a.m. I'm so sorry. Other than poor internet connection, Dan is a funny guy. Yeah, he's entertaining.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I gotta pitch my movie podcast too.
Okay, let's go.
I also do a movie podcast with my buddy Tony, which is on YouTube, where we watch bad movies and then make fun of them for an hour and a half. Which it's really the worst format ever because no one wants to listen to this for an hour and a half, but we do it anyways.
It's funny because you suffer through the movie for an hour and a half, and then you're going to talk about a shitty movie for another hour and a half.
Yeah, we just shot 50 Shades of Grey. Oh my God. Oh.
That's like that guy from Red Letter Media who did that episode 1. And he did like 5 1-hour segments, and like the movie is like 2 hours long, and he just made fun of the movie for 5 hours. And like 10 million people have watched it.
Yes, we average like 4.
Oh man.
But it's fun, you know, and that's the whole thing, you know. When you see like the people, you know, you had the hip hop trooper on there. I watched him, and that was really great what he said. He was just like, just don't tell anybody and go do what you're gonna do. And I mean, I struggle with it because we all want to have 1 million followers and get 10 million views on our 5 hours of whatever the fuck bullshit we do. I'm cursing. But the truth of the matter is, if, you know, 4 viewers is better than no viewers. And at some point, you're going to hopefully get something that resonates a little deeper. And I know Mr. Toast has resonated deep all over the place. And I'm very proud of that. And I've tried to make a living off of it as best I can. But, you know, you just got to keep doing projects. That's all you can do in life. And, you know, sometimes you want to listen to Dove, and sometimes you just want to be a maverick and do a project that flies in the face of all logic.
Right, and not ask for help on the easy stuff.
Well, I mean, if you can order from Empire Blisters.
If Todd is watching this, like, he's like gonna think that I have it in for Empire Blisters. I really genuinely like the guy, and he sends me free blisters. He's really nice.
That sounded like you were going to qualify that in some way, but what I'm the blister guy. Duh.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys go to the same distributor for blisters, or do you make your own blisters? So you guys, it's like a blisters wars. Wars.
Hold on one second. We have the same. I've made stuff in China before, but the place that we're doing in the U.S., we both use the same manufacturer.
Ooh.
Yes, we do.
So maybe you could like buy out that guy, buy that manufacturer.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
I always wanted to get a vacuum form machine.
They're not as good as you think.
No, I know. I would. It would. I'm like one of those guys that always like dreams about, you know, getting technology and then using it and then never using it. So that's the one thing about doing like the drawings. Like, I know I can do those, so I do them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing you have to. That is the thing you have to learn as you get older, is like not to bite off too much. You know, not to chew off too much that you bite. No.
Really, it gets harder in your old age?
No, I'm better at things.
So you're better. You're better.
I'm better. Well, I mean, I finished this project. And I finish a lot. I finish way more projects now than I ever did as a young man. as a young man.
My mom is texting something, and I don't know what it means.
It's like tell Dan to stop cursing, or Dan's
She put
really
it
cool.
No, there's a series of numbers.
Uh-oh. Maybe you got to play the lottery.
Or maybe she's trying to text someone else, and then she decided to text all the people watching. I don't know.
Is that a credit card number?
It's not long enough for that.
It's not.
Can you delete it from the chat?
The only people who can see it are camels.
So
Camel?
that's
And
Camels
Dan
can
can see it.
Only camels can see it? What?
but how can my mom be sending it to panelists?
Oh, I just turned on the
Anybody
chat.
can send to panels.
Ooh,
I don't know.
that is a mysterious number. That looks like a social security number.
It is not a. No, it's too long. Anyway, that's not the
No.
point.
No, it's one short. No, it's one too many for.
Oh, geez. Anyway,
Yo-Yo Dine listens to my podcast, so shut up, Dove. God, you're like,
So-
oh, you should quit that. And
all right. So, I guess my question for you is:
what's your question, Dove?
are you happy?
Generally, see, I'm an optimistic pessimist. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Think about it. See, I have a belief that all people are two conflicting things stuck together.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And that's what causes the frisson in our existences. No person is just one thing. Except I know a guy that's one thing. He
Yeah.
went to the Chinese astrologer, and the dude did his whole thing, and he's like, "You're all wood." And he's like, "What do you mean I'm all wood?" He's like, "You're all wood."
Well, have you ever,
Gone to the
this
Chinese
guy
astrologer? No.
Daniel Kahneman wrote a book. It's called Thinking Fast and Slow.
No.
So you have, it's like, cognitive dissonance is like when you're of two minds, when you have two opinions. This is something I go over with like my 6-7-year-old. It's like you have two feelings about something. It's like
Yeah.
I want to eat sugar, but
Yes, I
then
do.
if I eat too much, it makes me feel bad.
I'm
And
fine
so-
with that.
So so
But see, those aren't two different opinions. Those are that's
Well,
cause and effect. It's an opinion and a cause and effect.
no, there's two different sides of your brain, and one is a whole lot older. Like there's the lizard part of your brain, and they're not specific regions of your brain. It's a mix. When they say people are of two minds, they don't mean there's two separate.
Because the lizard brain's right in the middle.
Okay, like I said, doesn't have to do with location.
Hypothalamus.
Uh, but
see that you had it easy when we had 3 hours, because that was just me asking you questions. This is this is the real Dan Goodsell.
I see.
The pain in the ass Dan Goodsell.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay, so you got two brains.
So like I said, the one part is like the fast part of the brain is the one that says, oh, sugar, I want sugar now, I'm going to eat as much as
Sugar now.
possible. And the slow part is the one that afterwards, the kind of regret that says, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that's going to give me diabetes. Oh, like that's going to make me fat. Oh, that's, I'm not going to feel good. And then, so like if you drink too much, right? So what happens when your inhibitions go away? You're dulling, the one side, and then and a child also, is developing those, whatever those things that stop them from behaving rashly, like
You giving
when
your
you're
kid this talk at night?
you'd be surprised the conversations I have with this kid. He's like, what? And then he looks at me, he's like, wait, keep going.
Okay. Oh wow.
He's like, tell me
like,
more. He was he was in the bathtub the other day, and he said,
please tell me more.
and he's like, so
As
are
a child.
drugs, he said, he's 7 years old. He's like, so are drugs bad or good?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm like, okay. So then we start, it's like, so usually when people say someone is on drugs,
Yes.
they're usually talking about illegal drugs. It's like, why are they
Yes.
illegal? Okay. And then he's like, well, what do they do? And then we have to go into like, the stimulants and the depressants and like, the effect on people. And then it was kind of, and then I'm like, on my phone, and it's like someone's calling. It's like, no, please continue. It's like, okay. Yeah, these conversations are.
You're making a humanistic rationalist.
Maybe.
It sounds very rational to me. And rational thought is important in this day and age, with the QAnon stuff and all that garbage.
Yes. So here I texted my mom. Why are you texting in the chat? She says, I'm not texting anything. Samuel is at my house. So that's actually my son. Oh man. Yeah. So making a rationalist. I worry though sometimes, like
why?
Because I'm just talking about personally, because I feel like sometimes, well, personally, I feel like not a lot was explained to me.
You mean as a child?
As a child, and I didn't understand the world, and I spent most of my life trying to figure out the world, and I can pretty much explain the world in some pretty, human behavior is very simple.
You just said human behavior is very simple.
Yeah. Survival and reproduction, like your two major motivations, and there's not much outside of those two motivations.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Think about it. And actually,
wait a second. So why do people buy sneakers? Why do they buy all the crap we make? It doesn't satisfy either of those needs.
Yes, it does. You can trace most human behavior.
People are going to have sex with my legs.
I hope that my 7-year-old is not watching this.
Oh, sorry, listen, man. Are they going to eat the legs? They're going to like little Worcestershire sauce? What?
I said survival or reproduction. And
survival.
And one is actually a version of the other. One is a personal, your personal survival, and the other one is survival of the species. But yes, when people are accumulating or collecting, it is a version or a bastardized version of accumulating resources. So
you're going like hunter gatherer, you're doing that whole thing.
Very basic. And even if you look at different political perspectives, you have one side of the spectrum that wants to survive by on one extreme wanting to share everything with everybody, and the other side wants to survive by hoarding as much stuff for yourself personally. And you can
wait, so you're saying that there's a lot of people out there that want to share all their stuff with everybody?
I'm saying that is the extreme.
Now,
so,
do you know anyone like that?
Sure. But that's not the point. Yeah, I mean, 10% of the US population identifies as communist. What are you talking about?
Oh, you don't believe that. Do you really believe they believe in communist ideals? 10% of the population of this garbage country? Give me a break.
And there's 10% on the other side that just believes in Nazi concentration camp. So I don't know. There's a lot of kooky ideas. That's not the point.
Okay, what's the point? Yes, we're here.
I already told you the point, but I just asked you if you were happy. This is how this.
Am I happy? Well, that's the thing. I'm an optimistic pessimist. So, sort of. No, I'm generally I'm very different than most artists, right? Because
wait, what?
I'm very different than most artists.
Okay,
because I love what I make. I mean, I'm just like I don't look at what I make and go like I'm dissatisfied. I'm like, this is cool. I really think my stuff is cool. And I mean, because I have a giant ego. But I really like what I do, but I also, at the same time, I understand that I do not have the skills that many people do. I have a fairly limited skill base. And I look at a lot of people who have, because I have lots of friends who are incredible artists, and I look at their skill bases and they're incredible, but they are unhappy with their work, and I'm always just like, how are you unhappy with your work? It's like, your work's incredible. And I think there's a lot of artists that critique themselves very harshly. I don't critique myself very harshly because I'm doing the best I can.
You don't critique yourself very harshly?
No, God, no.
Oh my goodness.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hey, do you have a top hat by chance?
No. I have a Santa Claus suit.
Next time you're on this show.
You want me to wear the Santa Claus suit?
Yeah. That would be exciting.
This is my king because I'm old.
I guess it makes me happy to hear that you take joy out of creating your work and
I love it.
Are fulfilled.
Oh yeah, I can make myself cry.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah. Like when I write, especially when I write, I can write scenes and I can be like, I can start getting super emotional.
Wow.
That's the funny thing is, like, when I was in my 20s, I didn't think I had emotions, and now that I'm like really old, I have very serious emotions. So sure, I think I've learned to be a human being as I've gotten older. I don't think I was very good at being a human being when I was young.
I mean, I guess it depends how you were brought up, but I mean, just the culture in general. I know, but the culture in general
about my parents
pushes boys in particular, to not show an emotion.
No, not my family. Oh God, no.
No,
we were a science family. We're a crazy, brainy science family.
I think you're proving my point.
That's why I didn't think I had emotions, because we're a science family.
Yeah, because we're talking about that spectrum of like, logical to emotional.
Yeah, that's true. I was brought up very logical. I was a very logical person. I'm still a very logical person, but I think as I've gotten older, I've come to address my emotions better and live in them better. And that's why, I mean, Yoyodyne, was he saying that the first Star Wars movie wasn't good? I mean, I don't know. I look back at that movie, and I mean, certainly it had a huge impact on me as a kid, but I look back on it and I find it a very important.
What kind of segue was that?
Well, we're talking about emotions, and we're getting kind of touchy-feely. It's late at night. Everybody's turning down the lights, putting the red cloth over the what's it called? Lamp. I don't know where I'm going.
I don't know where you're going either.
Well, my point is, I wanted to say that I still think the first Star Wars movie is really good. I think all the other ones are complete garbage, especially Empire, which is super garbage.
You think Empire is garbage?
Yeah, because it's ugly. It feels dirty. It feels like soot kind of came down on everything.
I think
gross. Cloud City is gross. I know everybody loves Empire. I hate Empire. I mean, I don't hate it as much as I hate all the other ones. I mean, Empire's like, when I say hate, I mean compared to the first one, because those are the only two, your discussion is those two movies. Everything else, except Rogue One, which that was garbage too. Except Casino City. I loved Casino City. That was just such great filmmaking. Oh my God. I didn't make it through that movie. I had to turn it off. And the Han Solo movie. Now that guy was in another movie and he was really good. Why do you think that is? Empire is trash. I said it. Get used to it. Trash.
Wow.
How ugly that is when he's, the first Star Wars movie, when you watch it again, it just has this sheen to it that's like really interesting. It feels like film. And then you watch Empire and it's just like, that's kind of gone.
You know what I feel like right now? I kind of feel like I'm watching Manny's Puppet Show.
Yes.
And I just don't know how to react anymore.
Do you want me to talk about Christopher Nolan? Don't get me started on Christopher Nolan.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I understand why people like Empire. I mean, I'm just talking about my own personal opinion. it's like I love that first movie so much, and then the second movie just felt. I mean, maybe it's because it feels like real. You know, you cut off his hand with a sword. It's like, ugh. C-3PO's in parts. Ugh.
Wow. This is magical.
The trash compactor is in the first movie, right?
You said Empire is trash, except for the trash comp. Never mind. It was a play on words.
Wasn't the trash compactor in the first movie?
Yes.
I like that scene, man. That was scary. When you're a kid and you're in there and you're watching that thing swim around in there, you're just like, this is going to be bad. And it was pretty bad. Did they shoot that thing? And the eye stuck up? Did they ever make that thing as a toy?
They did. It came with the Death Star.
Did it really? I stopped at the early bird kit. That's when I stopped.
You stopped at the early bird kit.
Got that for Christmas, and I was like,
but how old were you?
What the F is this? I was born in 65, so I don't know when that came out.
70. It was Christmas of 1977.
So I was 12.
You're 12, and then the actual four figures arrived probably the next year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was out of it by then.
Yeah, by that age, because I was into Empire, and then pretty much by Jedi I was done. And I remember walking into a Toys R Us in 1985 and seeing the Power of the Force figures, and I was intrigued that there were new figures that I'd never seen before, but then also sort of embarrassed that I was like, looking at toys, and then I just kind of.
I said the first movie was clean and gleamed. No, I didn't mean that the first movie was clean and gleamed. But what I meant was the first movie just has this really nice 70s look where you can see the film grain, and it just really feels like cinematic. And we were watching like where they redid those movies and they cleaned them all up, and I couldn't watch them because it's like everything is crystal clear and it's like watching a television show. And I just lost all the magic, like the new scenes that they added with
that has to do with that whole telecine process of getting film onto video. And
oh, really? You mean
yeah? So what happens is most of these companies are going back to the original negative and recoloring.
Oh.
And when you go back to an original negative, I don't remember exactly, you get the grain.
I love Beetlejuice.
You get the grain in the, I forget, in the blacks or the whites. And when you do a telecine from a positive, an inner positive that has already been color timed, you get the grain in the opposite way. And I love the look, like what you're talking about, of films that have been transferred from that positive, because the grain structure is just dynamite. And when it's transferred from the negative, those whites are really bright. You can kind of tell because the whites don't ever blow out when it's from a positive. They don't get like super saturated. They get kind of a little yellowy, right? And then all of the grain in the white it evaporates from the negative, and you don't see the grain as much.
And I mean, so, part of that look of the first Star Wars film, and I think a lot of my issue with Empire is the look and just like the feeling that I got from the way that the imagery was. And it didn't work for me. I mean, the story, I don't have anything negative to say about the story. It's mostly the way Cloud City looked and, the muck of Yoda's swamp. Just ugh.
Jenky's just shaking his head. He's like, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
I'm talking about a personal opinion, and we've come to a.
He's gonna start beating.
I will fight you because you do not like the movie that I like. It's like, it's a movie. Who the hell cares? But I care because it's important. Movies are important. I was watching the Ugly Doll movie.
And
visually I really liked it. I mean, the evil dolls I think are hideous, but but the ugly dolls, the way they handled them was gorgeous.
The thing
And
is,
I think the problem with the movie, have you seen it?
I haven't.
Oh, well, then you can't talk about it.
I can if I want to.
Okay.
I think what I really wanted from it
Yeah.
was unrealistic, of course,
Sure.
but I wanted it to look like Dave's illustrations.
Sure.
I wanted it to look like a Saturday morning cartoon with, a blue ugly doll on top of a red background and then walking around and talking to each other, and the whole, there you go. And the whole 3D, ugly dolls are kind of flat to me. And as soon as you turn them into these bulbous kind of creatures, I don't know.
I get what you're saying. And I could see that, but I think they did a really good job on the 3D, which I was very impressed with. My issue, if I was going to, not that we're doing this here, but I'm doing it anyways, because I just watched it. It was the songs. The songs needed to be stronger. And I think that was the weakness of the movie. Okay, we got to start wrapping it up because Barbarian Rage is coming up at Dove, and you're just going to.
Wow, that's the first time I've had me off the show.
Okay, so do this deal with this big podcasting company, and you and I are going to be the next big comedy duo. You, the straight man, me, the funny man. I'm going to say all sorts of unpopular things to get everybody all riled up they're going to find you and fight you, Goodsell. Oh, you come to Comic-Con, you're getting a fist sandwich.
Wow.
I really miss the toy break. Is that what it's called? The 24-hour toy break? Because I get to go on there and I'd show up at 6 o'clock in the morning, after everybody sort of wound down, and then I just take over the couch.
You just sit on the couch for 5 hours.
Dan Goodsell, Ragnar. We had some good times. There was some fun. You and I had some good discussions on there, and that's why I came to you about the idea of us doing a show together, is because I think there's a lot of things to talk about.
Sure, I'm down.
In this world that does not have a lot of people talking about random stuff, such a quiet world.
We're just gonna call it Random Stuff with Dan and Dove.
Hey, Dove, ASMR is very sexy. Yeah, we gotta talk about ASMR at some point, because you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
I don't.
You don't even know what it is.
Oh, can you explain it to me?
Okay, what ASMR is? Barbarian Rage is going to be like, I'm raging, get off, suck assholes. It's a response that you get. It's like it's like feeling like a shiver in your spine. Have you ever been where I get it most? Is when I'm driving and one of my favorite song comes on, like Train in Vain by The Clash, even though it's probably called something other than that. And the window is down, and so there's wind blowing through I've got hairy arms, and the wind is blowing through my arms, and you get this, it's like a euphoric state that sort of goes through your body. Have you ever had that happen to you, Dove?
No, never.
Really? There's a percentage of people that it never happens to, but it happens to me pretty regularly. It mostly occurs in the car with a little bit of wind, with the right music, and there's a bit of nostalgia involved in it, and it's you can have a whole body experience that can wave over you again and again and again, and that's the ASMR. It's a response. That R stands for response. I don't know what the ASM. Yeah.
What's it called?
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
And it's an actual response.
Nice.
It's a response, and it can be triggered, and it's like sexy voices. It's like when someone gets really close in your ear and talks all sexy in your ear. It can happen from that. A lot of different ways it can happen. The Clash Punk or the Clash Punk? Huh? Of course they're punk. Jesus Christ. I'm an original punk. I used to go to punk shows. I used to be a punk. Oh, I could tell you stories. But we're run out of time. What are you holding up, Dove? I can't see. I'm on full screen, so I'm looking at myself. I've been rubbing my nose a lot.
Couldn't hear you.
What?
Okay.
Couldn't hear you do that at all.
Can't hear me do that at all?
I can hear it a
I
little.
heard it in this ear.
Well, it's been fun, Dove. Here comes my dog. Oh, you're gonna be on TV. I'm on TV. I'm a little dog. I love you, Dove. Dove, I love you. I'm a little dog. It's a little dog. She got...
Wow.
What? I love my little dog.
That's wonderful. I'm glad that you love your little dog.
She sits under this couch. That's where she
Nice.
spends all day.
I see.
She's sitting here working on the couch. She's just under there, silent.
Mm.
Oh, punk stories. I would like to hear everybody's punk stories. Oh my God. LA punk in the 80s. Oh my God. What a scene. What a scene. Okay. 6:28. Barbarian Rage at 6:30. This has been good, Dove. Thank you. I hope.
He's done.
Listen to my podcast, Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. It's on YouTube and it's a podcast on Apple Podcasts. Shaky Bacon, no E on the Instagram. You go to my Etsy store, artwork. I pulled all the plush, but I've been listing new artwork. And when Dove has time, we'll talk about the artwork a little more. You know, get out there, people. Make something cool. Because Comic-Con's not coming back.
Oh, man. Well, Dan, it's been a pleasure.
Pressure. Dove's like, finally.
Wow.
Okay. Can't you feel something right now? It's getting really good.
Oh, shit.
Okay, Dove. I'll be around.
All right. Thank you. Well, that just happened.